mountains, no matter what you do, there's always risks involved.
If it's not safe, like, just don't even ride it. It's not worth it.
Just the amount of force and power, unimaginable.
Safety is the #1 priority.
Live to ride another day.
When I leave the house to go for a run that I planned, I'm going, so I expect that I already checked the forecast and the snow conditions. Obviously, checking the snow report doesn't tell me that I'm 100% sure that there's not going to be an avalanche. So still, I have an evaluation of the danger, but I need to be there and I need to experience myself.
I ask myself, what is dangerous in the terrain now for me? That means that I reassess continually the weather, the snow conditions, the wind.
As soon as you go off the piste or in the backcountry, looking around, you can see a lot of signs.
It's a little windy. We got wind slab on top of wind scour, which equals avalanche.
There's a clear sign on the snowpack of the effect of the wind.
The wind comes from the windward side, takes the snow and puts it to the leeward side. What does it mean? Beneath a cornice, there is maybe alluring snow, good for skiing, but through this wind-drifted snow, you have maybe a higher level of avalanche danger.
It's pretty windy, so you're gonna have a feeling it's pretty overloaded, and we just skied down and stopped here. Sure, the 5-foot ground just ripped as we were hanging out here. It's super sketchy, dangerous, loaded.
One is also the temperature.
You know, is it heating up a ton today? Sure, it was safe this morning when it was all cold, but now it's getting really hot and the snowpack is getting heavy on the surface. You know, that's a huge thing to think about.
Going off the piste, you can have those whoomp sound. Those are signs of a weak layer and a bad layer. The previous avalanche activity is, there are all good signs.
If natural avalanches are occurring, then there's a good chance when you ski down the slope and put your body weight on that slope that you're going to trigger an avalanche. If they're already occurring without people sliding down the mountains, then that's a big, big red flag.
It's just kind of a play-by-play. You kind of got to just get out there and feel it and see what it's doing before you make your decisions.
Once we are in the terrain, I do a reassessment. First I check the snow conditions. Snow is a lively material, it always changes. For example, the spring snow, easy to go in the afternoon when it's a little bit soft on the surface and very crusty and rough in the morning. In high winter season we have this dry and nice snow for skiing, yeah, this champagne powder snow. All these snow conditions also affect our snowpack. So once we dig a pit, we can find out easily the different layers and how they are bounded within and between.
When you dig a snow pit, you get to see the layers, you get to see how well they're holding up.
The first thing I have to do when digging a pit is to check the weakest layer. I can do this quickly with my finger or with a shovel test to find out where maybe it could be a break for an avalanche. But this is not a general outcome. This is the hotspot theory, and it tells you just that the layers and the structure and the constitution of the snow is very, very different. It changes from meter to meter. The second is the steepness and the aspect of the slope.
There are many ways to assess the snow, and for sure digging pits is a great thing. But like generally, I think the best rule is to be able to imagine it's going to slide, and then you ride in consequence.
I think it's very important to choose a safe line always, and with a backup plan, with a escape possibility.
When you're selecting a terrain in avalanche country, you're looking really for a couple different factors. One being identifying traps or places where you can get caught up if the snow came from above and it would pile up above you. So holes, depressions, valleys, gullies, any of that kind of stuff is really kind of a general protocol what you want to stay out of. It's really important to identify more of like safe routes or safety zones, islands of safety in the slope. When snow comes down, avalanches come down, the snow kind of flows like water. If you think of that when you're selecting terrain, then you can identify different areas on the slope that the snow or the water might not touch. So you can ski from islands of safety to islands of safety, or stay on ridges and get up out on spines or whatever you can to get up and out of the slope. So the idea is to get in there, do your cuts or your turns, and then get up and out to see how the snow is actually reacting in there.
When I'm looking at a line, I also want to have a plan going into it as to what I should do if the pocket does rip. And that means having an exit strategy, maybe 2 if possible, and some islands of safety in mind, so that moment when something goes wrong, you don't have to try to create any sort of plan at that point. It's just an unconscious move.
We tiptoed around, played safe, and took all the necessary precautions, and we all had multiple lines and no releases, so we're stoked.
Remember, these episodes are not a substitute for formal avalanche education. So take a course, get out and practice your backcountry skills, and know your boundaries.